guys, it's Parzival. I also go by Will, and I am back with another story time. This is also sort of a video response, but I also don't know how long this is going to be. So, as per usual, if you just want to mute me, put on your own music, watch the Speedpaint, totally fine. I am drawing one of my OCs in the background. Her name is Mur, and it took me a second to actually pronounce that because I had to read that in my head and then say it. But yeah, her name is Mur, and I'm just drawing her in the background. It's fine. So, in terms of video response, a mutual of mine, Twisted Disaster, here on YouTube, also on Twitter and Instagram and all the other places, just did a video of the time that she almost poisoned herself. And I'll put that video up in the card if I remember to do that on the timestamp. Hopefully I will. If not, I'll just link it in the description. I might do both. But she was asking at the end of the video if we have any stories about us getting poisoned or nearly poisoning ourselves, and to put in the comments. And, you know, mine's a bit of a longer story, and I do have a YouTube channel, so I decided that I'd do mine as a video response, because I thought that that would be fun. So this isn't a situation of me poisoning myself, but I figured I would share it regardless. So here's a story of the time that I got food poisoning when I was in Vegas. So a couple years ago, when I was in college, I went to Vegas with my grandmother. My grandmother has passed now. May she rest in peace. But this was one of her last physical trips, and we knew this was going to be one of her last physical trips. And so we wanted to make it special, but it also meant that she needed people with her. And so she wanted me to come along because I had been living with her for a while. She basically raised me. I call her my grandmother, but she was basically my mom. And so I'd been living with her, so I went along to keep an eye on her. And we were going to meet up with two of my cousins who were from California in Vegas, and we were also going to eventually go and meet my uncle, and my aunt and my other cousin, my aunt's daughter, were supposed to come with. And so they were supposed to meet us there and or fly out with us. But last minute, my aunt got sick. So on my end, it was myself, my grandma, and my aunt's daughter flying out from the Chicago International O'Hare Airport to Vegas. And then we were going to meet everyone else there. Now, this wasn't going to be an issue once we met everyone else there, because then there's going to be more people. But I am not trained in caretaking. I know the basics because I was living with her for several months out of each year, because I would live with her when I wasn't at school for college. But, you know, it wasn't a thing that I was skilled at, nor were any of us really skilled at that. But we made do. She's obviously our family member. We understood how to take care of her and stuff. But I was the one out of all the people who would know her needs the most, because I lived with her. None of my other cousins lived with my grandmother. I lived with her. And so it was myself and my cousin. Let's call my cousin Jay. 'Cause I have other cousins in here. And so let's call my cousin Jay so that I can differentiate her from all the other ones. Now, I love all of my family as much as you can, you know. Okay, I shouldn't say I love all my family. Sometimes my family gets on my nerves, but I have an appreciation and respect for all of my grandmother's family members, and I am a part of that family. And I will get along with them as best as possible. But the issue being is that Jay and I notoriously did not get along. We have not gotten along for several years, ever since I was a kid, and I, as an adult, have just come to understand that that's okay. We don't have to get along so long as we respect each other, you know, some people just don't get along, and that's fine. And I was okay with this. I don't know if she was okay with this or she'd accepted this, but we didn't communicate well. I don't like the way she talks to me or treats me, but I will put up with it. When we have to be in the same space, I will be courteous and respectful. And that was fine. The trip was fine. It was a little bit difficult. I had to make sure that I pushed to get my days off because I wanted to do something for myself where for one day because everyone else got to, so I wanted to, and I wanted that one day where I was able to do the one thing I wanted to do, which was go to the indoor theme park in one of the Vegas hotels. I wanted to ride a roller coaster indoors. I wanted to spend some time alone. I wanted to go to the arcades. I just wanted to do something for myself. And that was fine. It was frustrating, and I did have to push for it, but overall it was fine. It went well. Until one of the final days of the trip, where we went out to eat, and I got some sort of seafood burger, I think. And I don't know if it was a seafood burger, if it was something else I ate along the day, because, you know, if you're in a new place and you're eating a bunch of different foods, because it's Vegas, we were eating in a bunch of different places, who knows what I ate that could have upset my stomach. But point being is that something I ate upset my stomach immensely. And I got food poisoning. I felt it coming on, and I'm like, oh, this feels bad, this feels like cramps, but I thought it might be, like, my endometriosis. I can get cramps sometimes, but then it started getting worse. And I started realizing, this isn't good. I should try going to the bathroom, or, like, throwing up or something. And I went into the bathroom, and when I got to the bathroom, it spiked really, really, really badly. And I was not able to stand. I was not, like, because I had been sitting down and in our hotel room when it finally, like, started to hit me. And then it was standing up and being vertical that really, really made it accelerate to the point where, like, I was not functional anymore. And I ended up in the bathroom on the ground going, I don't know what's going on. I am in pain. I feel hot. I had my face pressed against the tile of the bathroom because at least that was cool and cold and was cooling me off. I could not stand. I was a mess. It was terrible. I was crying. I didn't know what to do. So I called one of my other relatives, and I was like, I don't know what to do. I feel really, really bad. Obviously none of them could come and get me because, you know, we were in Vegas, but I was like, what do I do? Like, I feel like crap. And they're like, okay, it sounds like you have food poisoning. Do you have any Pepto-Bismol on you? I'm like, I don't know. I'm in the bathroom. I don't know what we have. I don't know what was packed. And they're like, okay, well, ask Jay if there's any Pepto-Bismol. So I called Jay in, and Jay is just standing in the doorway, looking at me blankly as I'm on the ground, sobbing, in pain, gripping my stomach with my face smashed into the tile and the porcelain. And I'm just like, Jay, do we have any Pepto-Bismol or any sort of, like, stomach medicine? She's like, no, we didn't pack any. Just staring at me. No, are you okay? No, is something wrong? She's like, no. I think there's some downstairs, though, in the commissary at the hotel. I'm just like, can you go get it for me? Because I was on the ground. I couldn't walk. And she stares at me and she's like, why can't you get it yourself? And I look at her as well as I can, being on the ground, and I go, Jay, I can't go downstairs. I'm not going to make it without throwing up, and I can't walk right now. I need you to go downstairs and get me the Pepto. And she just gave me this look like I was stupid. Because why can't I get the Pepto myself? And I was just so exhausted by this, because, yeah, we didn't get along, but do I have to spell this out for you, Jay? Like, I'm ill and I'm not feeling well and I can't walk. What, like, what's wrong with you? Why can't you see that I am in pain and I need assistance? Do you just not want to help me? Like, it was absolutely ridiculous. And I finally, at some point, convinced her to go downstairs and get me the freaking Pepto. But it was a terrible situation, and she just treated me like she didn't understand why I can't do things myself, like an adult, quote unquote, because I needed help. And sometimes you need assistance. Sometimes you can't walk and you have to get assistance. And it's even more ridiculous that this happened when we were taking care of my grandma and assisting her everywhere, because you would think that she would understand that sometimes some people need assistance. But no, she stared at me like I had grown two heads. And thankfully, eventually I did get the Pepto. My stomach calmed down. We were pretty sure it was food poisoning, but like, that is just a terrible situation to be in when you're on the ground and the one person who can help you is not helping you because she doesn't understand why you can't do it yourself. It's just like, if I had been bleeding from the leg and I needed bandages, would she also have told me to walk myself downstairs to the commissary and buy bandages? And obviously, this didn't make me like her anymore, but that's like, I already didn't get along with her in the first place, so I'm not like super like, oh, this, like, I hate her because she did this to me. I'm just like, no, I just know that if I get hurt, she will not assist me, and that kind of sucks. So I just don't get along with her, and I don't like her. But she's family, so I will put up with her if I need to. But we just don't really talk anymore. We hadn't beforehand, and we still don't, and that's okay. But yeah, that is my story about the terrible experience I had getting food poisoning in Vegas. And the food poisoning wasn't really the problem, was it? It was everyone else, or specifically one person in response to my food poisoning. But yeah, I hope that was an enjoyable story. If not, you know what? It was a story that I want to tell anyway, so oh well. But yeah, um, that's about it. So I will now send you guys to the outro. Bye bye. Well, that's the end of this video. As usual, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below in the comment section, or contact me on any of my social media, which is linked in the description below. I also have my Patreon there if you guys want to throw a monthly donation at me. Thanks so much for your support. I'll see you next time. Bye!